Good evening, students. We have to discuss today's class highlights. So today we have derived the expression for no load current of three-phase induction motor. Before that, we also discussed that magnetic circuit of four-pole machine. As shown in figure, it shows the magnetic circuit for a four-pole induction motor. You see there, these all things are imaginary. A four-pole machine, it consists main four poles. So two north poles, two south poles. So the magnetic flux completes their path from half of the north pole to the half of the south pole. In a similar fashion, it completes four poles, means it completes four magnetic paths. So as shown in figure, you see there, it completes their path through the five parts. Number 1, air gap is there. Number 2, stator core is there, respective stator teeth. Then rotor core, rotor teeth. Hence it is very basic idea. So the magnetic circuit completes their path. Hence we have to go for calculation of MMFs. Hence we have to go for calculation for air gap MMF, stator core MMF, stator teeth MMF, rotor core MMF, rotor teeth MMF. So before going to that, the no load current of three-phase induction motor consists two parts. Number 1, magnetizing current, which is 90 degree out of phase voltage. Another one, loss component of no load current, which is in phase of phase voltage. If we are estimating these two, then finally no load current can be estimated. Another concept is also there. So the distribution of flux, it may be sinusoidal, that we have referred as fundamental. But here, due to the presence of harmonics, the sinusoidal wave of distribution is not possible. So finally we referred as flat topped flux distribution. Flat topped flux distribution. Practically it is available. It is not sinusoidal. Hence the calculation of flux density is a complex, whether we have to assume for sinusoidal distribution or whether we have to take flat topped. If the maximum values are taken, then it will affect the calculation of flux. Flux becomes too small, then magnetizing current becomes too large. Hence the flux tubes crossing the air gap at 60 degree from the interpolar axis is a good approximation, because at this instant, even though presence of third order harmonics, that value should become 0. You refer earlier graphs, we have seen that there is a fundamental distribution of flux, there is a presence of third order harmonics, there is a presence of fifth order harmonics. So at this 60 degree from interpolar axis, so the even though third harmonic may present, it becomes 0. Therefore it is good approximation. Hence all flux densities, the flux density value of air gap teeth concerned, we have to convert to 60 degree. Hence we are going to get one good approximation. So by assuming this, we have to start the derivation. Number 1, MMF for air gap. So you have to calculate the average flux density in air gap, that is denoted by B average, Webers per meter square. This flux density should convert at 60 degree, that we can call BG60. BG60 equal to 1.36 into B average. You develop the equation 1. Then MMF for stator teeth, it is very important factor. the calculation of flux density in stator teeth depends upon stator slot, stator teeth. If stator slot is parallel, then stator teeth also parallel. Hence, the flux density remains same because width of teeth remains same, area respective also remains same. But if we are using tapered teeth, then flux density goes on changing because width goes on changing from narrow end to bottom. From narrow end to bottom, width goes on changing, area goes on changing, flux density also goes on changing. Hence, it is a complicated process. Then where I should going to calculate? We have to calculate the MMF by considering the flux density at 1/3 height from narrow end. 1/3 height from narrow end. Hence, the flux density at 1/3 height from the narrow end of tooth is given by this following expression: BTS 1/3 equal to phi m divided by SS divided by P into Li into WTS 1/3. Only importance is WTS 1/3, that is width of stator teeth at 1/3 height from narrow end. Then width of stator teeth at 1/3 height from the narrow end. It also very good, very interesting. So before that, slot pitch equal to width of slot plus width of teeth. Width of slot first plus adjacent teeth. You remember, therefore width of teeth becomes slot pitch minus width of slot. This you remember, general expression. Okay, once again, width of teeth equal to slot pitch minus width of slot. So you refer the diagram. You see there what diameter we have to take. What diameter we have to take at 1/3 height from narrow end. How much it becomes? D is the diameter of stator bore. DSS is the depth of stator slot. So one side its depth is DSS by 3. It becomes two side. Hence D plus 2 times of DSS by 3. That diameter we have to consider. Therefore, WTS 1/3 equal to pi D plus 2 times of DSS by 3 divided by SS minus of WSS. Once you are getting the WTS 1/3, then it is possible to calculate flux density at 60 degree. Flux density at 60 degree. It should be converted by multiplying 1.36 into BTS 1/3. You develop the expression. After calculating this flux density at 60 degree, with the help of BAT curve, it is possible to determine MMF per meter with respect to this flux density. Then we go for total MMF of stator teeth. That should be equal to MMF per meter of stator teeth into depth of stator slot. Here depth of stator slot and depth of stator teeth both are same. Next, MMF for rotor teeth. You understand one very clearly which diameter we have to consider. In similar fashion, first you determine width of rotor teeth at 1/3. Then you draw the diagram of rotor side. DR is the diameter of rotor and rotor teeth. Rotor teeth is also tapered. From 1/3 height, this diameter becomes DR minus 2 DRS divided by 3. So once you calculate the width of rotor teeth at 1/3 height, then you substitute this value for calculation of BTR at 1/3. Phi m divided by SR divided by P into Li into WTR 1/3. So BTR 1/3 comes from this expression, then multiply by 1.36, we are getting BTR 60. You are converting flux density at 60 degree. Then you go to the graph corresponding this flux density. What is the mmf per meter? That is small ATTR comes. After this value, go for the calculation of mmf required for rotor teeth, that is capital. So total mmf of rotor teeth equal to mmf per meter into depth of rotor teeth. Then mmf for stator core. You see there, now this diagram represents stator core and stator bore and stator teeth. So we have to take mean diameter of stator core. Mean diameter, it is blue circle that represents mean diameter of stator core. That means DCS. DCS is depth of stator core, that is 50%, half of DCS. Then you see there, D is depth diameter of stator bore. DSS is depth of stator slot. Hence you construct what is the diameter value. So D plus 2 times of DSS plus 2 times of DCS by 2. Getting the idea? This diameter we have to consider. So length of the flux path through the stator core, LCS, equal to 1/3 divided by pole pitch at mean diameter. So you replace the D, this mean diameter value. So after calculating the length of flux path in stator core, then you come to or calculate mmf of stator core. That should be equal to mmf of stator core per mmf per meter of stator core into length of flux path in stator core. Then mmf of rotor core. In same fashion, we have to determine the diameter in mean diameter in rotor core. In same fashion, you calculate dr is the diameter of rotor, then dsr is the depth of rotor teeth or rotor slot, then dcr depth of rotor core. So finally we are going to get diameter as dr minus 2 dsr minus 2 dcr by 2. So next you go for length of flux path in rotor core. Length of flux path in rotor core is given by pi d by 3p. D you replace by this diameter. Once you are knowing the LCR, it becomes easy. So total mmf of rotor core must be equal to mmf per meter of rotor core into length of flux path in rotor core. After developing the mmf for all five things, air gap, stator core, stator teeth, rotor core, rotor teeth. Hence you calculate total magnetizing mmf per pole for B 60 degree, that is flux density at 60 degree. So it is referred as 80-60. 80-60 equal to 80G, 80TS, 80TR, 80CS, 80CR. Just a symbol, mmf of gear gap, mmf for stator teeth, mmf for rotor teeth, mmf for stator core, mmf of rotor core. Develop the equation 6. Then after knowing the 80-60, go for calculation of magnetizing current for phase. IM equal to 0.427 P number of poles, 80-60 divided by kWs into TS, where kWs is stator winding factor, TS stator turns per phase, So next we have to go for calculation of no load current, loss component of no load current, IL. So this is mainly informs the calculation of iron loss, which is the sum of hysteresis loss and eddy current loss, and it may be due to surface loss in teeth, due to variation of air gap density and tooth pulsation loss. So totally we can call iron loss. Once you are knowing the iron loss, sometimes iron loss per kg, then you go to the graph. So total iron loss you calculate. So finally we are going to get loss component of no load current must be equal to total no load loss divided by 3 into voltage per phase. So once you are knowing the magnetizing current, once you are knowing the loss component current, then finally we develop the expression for calculation of no load current I naught for phase equal to under square root of Im square plus IL square. This is the final expression. We have to remember the expression for Im and IL. These things are required for calculation of problems. So it is one of the very important aspect as per consideration of VTU. This derivation may be asked 10 marks, 12 marks, 14 marks. It is very important. Either derivation or problems from this section are available in exam. Thank you, sir, to one and all.